Hello everyone, can you hear me? Okay, so today is date 7, 28th September. So we'll continue with the destructuring, the one which we left yesterday, the day before yesterday, and we'll also work on the React router. So these two things we'll do today. So let's start with the destructuring. So let's repeat something. Whatever I did, we are doing destructuring of the array and objects. So let me create one array, name it as foo equal to 1, 2, and 3. So I created 3 elements in this array, and then I will write down the constant, and here I will say red, yellow, and green. So I create a variable name and assign to the array which I defined here. Foo. So as I click enter, the red will be assigned the value of 1, yellow will be assigned the value of 2, green will be assigned the value of 3. So if I type red, it's 1, 2, yellow. Yellow will be 2 and green will be 3. So it pairs, this one will be assigned to first element, this one will be assigned to second element, this one will be assigned to third element. So this is one of the example of destructuring. I can also do A and B. I define A and B, and then I can say A comma B is equal to an array of 1 comma 2. So when I type A, it will be 1. When I type B, it will be 2. So we can declare the variables, and then we can assign using destructuring. So this is another example. Let's take third example. So this is something called default value. I will give default value to variables, and then I update the value using the destructuring. So let's say if I give a and x and y, I create let x and y, and then I start with the destructuring. I'll say x equal to 5, y equal to 7, and I assign to array, but here I pass only the one value. Since I pass the one value, it will be assigned to the first element and not the second element. So x value will be the 1 because it will be overwritten by 1, but y value will be the 7 only because we are not passing the second value here. So if I say x, it is 1, and if I say y, it is 7 because we pass the default value of 7 here. So we did on that day we did the swapping of variables value. We'll do again that swapping part. So if I say let a equal to 1 and let b equal to 3, so if I type a, it is 1. If I type b, it is 3. Now I want to swap. I want a equal to 3 and b equal to 1. So I can say a comma b is equal to b comma a. So what I'm doing, I'm assigning a the value of b, and I'm assigning the B the value of A. So we are swapping the values. Now if I type A, it is 3. Previously it was 1. And if I type B, it is 1. Previously it was 3. So we swap the values. Let's take few more examples. I will create an array of 1, 2, 3. Now what I do, I will say array of 2. Array of 2 is this one, 3, comma, array of 1. Array of 1 is this one, 2. Because it starts with a 0 element, 0, 1, 2. So if I say array of 2, I am pointing to this one. And if I say array of 1, I am pointing to this one. I am saying equal to array of 1 and array of 2. So I am changing the 2 value, that is 3, to 1, that is 2. So these two will be swapped. And I am changing 1, that is this, to this array of 2. Array of 2 is 3. So 2 will be replaced by 3 and 3 will be replaced by 2. If I press enter and then type array, so here if you see, I am getting 1, 3 and 2. 1, 2, 3 instead of I am getting 1, 3 and 2. So this is how we do the destructuring. Let's take few more examples. I create a function f. Inside function I am returning 1, 2. So it is an array with the value of 1 and 2. In the 0th element we have 1, in the first element we have 2. And now I create, let's say, m and n2 variables, and I say m comma n is equal to function, the function which I created here. So when I return it, I am getting 1 and 2. So instead of function, I will get 1 and 2, and 1 will be assigned to m, 2 will be assigned to n. If I type m, it is 1, n, it is 2. Let's say if I create another function f2, and here if I return 3 elements, 1, 2, 3, and then I create another variable constant c is equal to function. Now since this array is assigned to this function is returning 3 values. Since I am passing only the first element, so c will be assigned the value 1 and 2 and 3 will be ignored because we have only one variable called. So first one will be attached to first one and 2 and 3 will be ignored. So if I press enter and if I type c, it is 1 and 2 and 3 are ignored. I will create another one, constant. Okay, let me create another tab, otherwise variable name will get conflicted. Okay, so I will create a constant of a, and I will say 3 dot spreader of b is equal to array of 1, 2 and 3. Here we are applying a to the first element, and since we are passing the spread operator, that is 3 dot, then all the remaining values will be assigned to this b. So I'll say a, it is 1. If I say b, it is 2 and 3. So with dot, I am assigning all the other values to this b. What if I do like this? Constant a comma dot 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 b, then comma. Okay, I have to take new values x comma dot 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 y comma, and then I will say 1 comma 2 comma 3. So here x will be assigned 1, and since I am passing dot 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 y, so rest will be assigned to this y. But if I pass last comma, generally if I don't pass dot dot dot, then if I press enter and if I say x and if I say y, then y is getting two value, and third, since I pass nothing in the last, so it is ignored. So 3 is gone in the air. We don't have any value of the 3. But what if I do same thing with the rest operator? I'll say I comma j dot 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 j comma equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Now here I will be assigned 1, and 2, 3 should be assigned to j. But what about this comma and this space? And if I press enter, it is giving me the error, because it's saying this the last part j should be the last element. You should not have any comma after the last dot 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 j. So if I put dot 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 j, it will give error. Now let's take one more example. So I will create an object equal to, and here I will put some values. For example, ID 1, age 25, 35, gender male, full name. A full name is another object with first name of John and last name of Joe. So this is my object. If I type obj, so I'm getting the complete object: age, full name, gender, ID. Now now we have to let's say use this object and do some calculation here. Okay, so first one I will do user ID. So I will create one function. I will say user ID, and so if I pass some value here, for example, my something I can say record. I'll do console.log of record. So whatever value coming in the record, I will just console.log of record. So now if I say user ID of obj, the object which I created, this one, if I pass that, so you will see record is that complete object. So what if I want to print this ID? So let's create this function again, and I will say ID is record.id. So when I say record.id, I will printing this 1. So now again if I pass the object, it's saying ID equal to 1, because I print the record.id here. Now what if I want to print this ID using the destructuring? So if I want to destructure this function, I will paste this function here again. So instead of the record passing as a whole object, I will destructure that object and I will only say ID. So now I'm saying I want only the ID, I don't want the whole record. So now if I press enter and call this user ID object, I am passing this object, but I am only getting ID here because I am destructuring the ID. I don't need all other fields. I am only destructuring the ID. So it will print ID equal to ID. So it's saying ID is 1. This user ID is the function. I can name it anything, and I'm passing the object inside it to manipulate the object and do something inside the function. I can create a function func1 and I will destructure it to age only. That means I want only the age. I don't need all other things. And I will say console.log age is age. So I'm now destructuring to get only the age. I don't need ID, I don't need gender, I don't need any other thing. So if I click enter, so user ID is only the name of the function. I'm passing the object inside it. When I'm passing object inside it, this object is going, but I'm only passing the age in this last case. I don't want the whole other part of this object. I want only use age. So I destructure it and use the age. So if I use func1 and I'll pass the object, it will say age equal to 35. Because that means it is only using the age from this whole object and it is not using any all other elements. Now let's do more with this one. So I will create another function func2. Here I will pass some more parameters as an destructuring. So for example, I will pass ID. I want ID. I don't want age. I don't want gender. But I want full name. So I destructure and I'll say full name. Here I will print ID and full name. I will click enter and I will say again func2 with object which I created previously. So here you will see ID is displaying as 1 and full name is displayed as an object because full name is the object of first name and the last name. Let's create third function. And in this third function, I will create another destructuring. I will say I want age only. I want gender. I don't need ID. And inside full name, I need only the first name. So here, since full name is an object, I can also print the curly bracket here and only say first name because full name is consists of first name and last name. I don't need the last name. So I'm only saying inside the full name, I need the first name. And then if I do console.log of age, of gender, and of first name, then I will get all these three. But if I do console.log of full name, it will give error because I'm not really passing the full name. I'm passing inside the full name, I'm passing the first name. So I need the first name, not the full name. So if I put full name, it will give error, but these three will work fine. So now I'll say func3 of object. So you will see the full name is giving error in the second line, whereas age is 35, gender is male, and John is the third first name, is the John. So this is the way we restructure the object and arrays as we saw before. Now let's see how we use this in our React application. So I will open my React application and inside that I will open my input.jx which we did. So here we see props is an object which has the name, title, placeholder, handle change, size, read only, and plain text and value. These all are the values of this object. So instead of doing props.name, I can destructure the props as a curly bracket and I will say what things will come in this object which I want. I will say name, then I'll say title, then I'll say placeholder, Then I'll say handle change. Then I'll say size. And then I'll say read only. Then I'll say plain text. Then I'll say value. And now I destructure the props. So instead of props, I can only print name, title, placeholder, handle change, name, size, read only, plain text, props. So I remove props from every place. I destructure the props to this different names, and then I'll save it, and then we'll see how it works on the browser. Let's open the app. So we have, but since I did change in the input, I will check the input. I'm changing the first name, and still it is working. First name is working, and I'll also show the console.log here. Name is name. So I'll refresh it. So here, since I'm passing, name is first name, name is middle name, name is last name. So instead of props.name, I'm using the names. So this is how we do the destructuring in the React application. So now I will do, so this is all about destructuring. Now I will go with React router. But do you have any questions in the destructuring? You can ask now. Otherwise, I will go to React router. Okay. So if you have any other question, you can ask me. Ask me after the session or whenever you have any question. So let's go to the terminal. Let's do the routing part. What is the React router? React router means we go from one component to another component without refreshing the page. So we need to create the URL in the in our application so that each component should have different URL, and we can access that page with the different URLs. So we use React router to create different URLs. So for example, if our application is having app as a main component, and then we have about page, we have home page, we have contact page. So let's say there are 3 pages. I need to route to about page, home page, and contact page, and I will use React router to create these 3 pages. Before I go, I will go to the app.js. Since I created this whole form, I will save this as a different, I will save this app.js as some different component so that I can use app.js for different purpose. So I will create add.jsx, and I will rename app.js to add.jsx. So now first thing to do the React router, I will install one of the npm package for routing, and that package is called React Router DOM. So I have to install a package called as React Router DOM. So I will say npm install React Router DOM. I'll go to cd react.js, cd hello world, and I'll install this package. So once it is installed, I will go to our app.js. In the app.js, I will remove all because I don't need it. I copied it to add.js. I remove all this one. I remove all this one. I will say just my app in the h1, and then I'll remove all the form element, and I'll save it. Let's see how it looks. So it is my app. Now I'll be creating the routing that is different URL, so that I can go to about page, I can go to contact page and different page using the React router. So here, so I will create some navigation so that I can go to different pages. For example, first navigation will be home. I have to go to home page. Second navigation will be about page. I will go to about page, and third will be contact page. So there are three pages I have to use, and in the home it will be some different content. About will be different content. Contact will be different content. So I have to create three pages. One is home, about, and contact. Let's create a folder. I will name it as components, and inside this folder I will create a new folder, and here I will say uh, pages, for example. I can name anything, and inside pages I will create three pages. First will be the home.jsx, second will be the about.jsx, and third will be the contact.jsx. So when I go to about, I should be showing the content, some content here. So here I'll say about page. So when I go to about page, I will show about page like this. And when I go to contact page, I will show contact page like this. And when I go to home page, I will show the contact like this, home. So these are the three pages I built, and now I have to show these three pages in my three different URL. So React router is done. Now first thing which I have to import is following thing. I will say import, and I'll start curly bracket, and I'll say from React router DOM. So I'll be importing few variables, functions and variables. One of the variable I will use is browser router, and I will replace it as a router. So in this page I will be using router, and in reality it is coming as a browser router. So variable is browser router, which is coming from React router DOM, but for the easy purpose I will rename this as a router. So if I have to use it on this page, I will use this router, not this browser router. So I'll use the router, then I'll use the switch statement, then I'll use the link statement, and third thing is the route statement. So we need one router, switch, link, and route. Four things we need for this page. Okay, let me use this toggle trap. So I need the import of React, and then I need following things to be imported from the React router DOM. Now, before I start my div, I will start with router. So since I started with router, I have to end with router. So end will be the with router. Okay, so first thing to do the routing, that is the URL changing, we have to do router, we have to apply the router at the top and bottom. Now, this is the links which will be constant in all the pages. So now where we want the dynamic content to be changed, at that place, I will start with the switch statement. So I'll start with the switch element, and inside the switch element, I will create different routing. So first route, here I have to define which component I have to use for this route. So I will say component is equal to home. So first one will be, let's say, home. And here I will say path equal to slash. So when the path is slash, I will call the home component, and here I will say exact. Exact means if the URL exactly matches to this, then only use this route. If it is something like this, then though it has slash also, but it is not matching with the slash here in this route. So exact is used. That means this path should be exactly in the URL, then only you call the home. And I'll copy this to I will call the about component, and when the URL is about, and I will call contact component when the URL is contact. Remember to add exact every place. So if exactly it is about, then only it will call this route. Otherwise it will not call. Now I have to call these three components here. Import home from components pages home. Let me confirm. Components pages and home. I will say about, and I'll say contact. So all three components are called, and all three components used in the routing. And I will be creating the links here so that when user click home, it should go to the path of this. When user click about, it should go to the path of this. And user click the contact, user can go to this. One of the way to create the link is a tag. Reference equal to slash. But the problem with the reference will be, when I click the home, it will refresh the page and it will not be single page application. So to make it single page application, instead of using the a tag, I will be using the link tag. So link, if I use link, it will be only changing the content without refreshing the page. And instead of reference, we have to use to. So to this location using the link. Similarly, I will create another link for about one. And for the contact one. And in each case, I will change the to path. Here I will say about, and here I will say contact. After the switch statement, let's say I will create some footer. This is footer. So this top part will not change when we change the link. This bottom part will not change, but only the part where I have written the switch statement will change the content based on what we have in the URL. So if we have the slash in the URL, it will go to the home component. If we have about in the URL, it will go to about component. If it is we have contact, we will go to the contact component. So let's see this in action. I refresh it. So we have my app here. I see home, about, contact, and I see this footer. Let me add this HR also before this switch statement. So we have this as the header, this as the footer, and this page is home. Since we don't have put anything, it means it is slash is by default. And that is the reason we are showing the home page in the beginning. But when I click the about page, you will see the content is changed to the about component. And when I click the contact, the content will be changed to home page. So it is gone to about page. When I click contact page, it is gone to contact. And the URL which you see in every case is changed based on what I'm clicking. If I'm going to about, it is going to about page. So this way, we change the route to different URL based on the React router DOM package. And this will be used in all our application. So that's it for the React router. We will be doing little more React router in coming days, but this is the basic about the React router. I'll be showing some more things in the React router in few days. Now, if you have any question, you can ask. I'll be committing my code so you can take and you can use or you can practice yourself. So we have done the destructuring and React router today, and few days tomorrow I will be doing Redux also, and in few days I'll be done with all basic components of the React which are needed to build an application, and from next Monday we will start building the real life projects, and we will be building a lot of those projects. So make sure you do every day whatever I teach so that you should be in pace with me. Okay, let me see what questions I have. Handle change, handle submit are redefined method. These are the method I created it. I can name it to X, Y, Z. I can rename it to function 1, function 2, function 3. I put the content inside these functions. These are the custom components and custom methods created by me, and I can rename it to whatever I want. Life cycle methods like component did mount, component will update, component did update, those were little old. Those are little old. I can show you that, but those are not needed when with the React change. Now the new React is something we use the functional components like this. We create the function like this, and we only need for life cycle method we only need React dot use effect. We don't need any other thing in the React application. Previously, in old React, when it came, we were using the class, and in the class we were using the cycle method like component did mount, component will mount, component did update, component will update, component will unmount. All these were used, but now everything is replaced with only the use effect, and we use only for limited purpose, which I will show, React use effect I will show in few days. So event listener means on click is an event. So on click is called by the React, but function which you provide in on click is your custom component, custom function.